Listen, if you are over 60 and traveling in 2026, the rules that stop people at airports are not always the rules you think you know. It is not just about arriving 2 hours early, it is about showing up with the right document, in the right condition, for the right checkpoint. In 2026, enforcement is tighter, systems are more automated, and small mistakes turn into long delays, missed flights, or denied boarding. Seniors get hit hardest because many rely on habits that worked for decades but do not match today's scanners, databases, and airline checks. You can do everything right: original pill bottles, a doctor's letter, a neatly packed carry-on, and still get flagged at the counter. The reason is simple. Airlines and border systems follow entry rules strictly, and TSA checkpoints follow identity rules strictly, with little room for debate. In this video, I will break down 8 document traps that show up again and again in real traveler stories, especially for people 60 and up. You will learn what to check on your passport, what to check on your driver's license, and what to say when a screen turns red. I will also give you practical, quick, 30-second checks you can do at home before you ever leave for the airport. Some of these rules have existed for years, but in 2026 they are enforced more consistently, and the technology makes errors feel unforgiving. If you follow these steps, you will protect your trip, your money, and your peace of mind, whether you fly domestic or international. Follow for more travel documentaries and airport survival tactics, because the best vacation starts with getting through the gate calmly. Rule 8. The 6-month passport validity trap is the fastest way to lose a trip before you even reach the gate. Many travelers think the expiration date is the only thing that matters, but for many destinations it is not. A country can require your passport to be valid for months beyond your entry date, and airlines enforce that at check-in. That means you can hold a passport that looks valid and still be denied boarding because the destination rule is stricter. This catches older travelers because we are used to thinking, if it is not expired, it is fine. The most common version is the 6-month rule, where your passport must be valid at least 6 months beyond arrival, or sometimes beyond departure. The exact requirement depends on the country, and it can change, so guessing is how people get burned. The safe move is to check your destination's entry requirements before you buy flights, and again before you fly. Do a quick home check. Open your passport. Find the expiration date. Then compare it to your travel dates. Add 6 months to your arrival date, and if your passport expires before that buffer, treat it as a problem. If you travel often, use an even safer buffer. Aim for 6 months beyond your return date, not just your arrival. This is not about being dramatic, it is about how airline check-in systems flag documents. When the system flags you, the agent is not being mean. They are following a rule tied to the destination. If you argue, you usually lose time, and time is exactly what you cannot afford on travel day. The better play is prevention. Renew early, and avoid the counter-confrontation entirely. For U.S. passports, renewal timelines vary, so plan as if it will take several weeks, not several days. If you qualify for online renewal, it can be convenient, but eligibility rules apply, and you still need time for processing. Put a reminder on your phone, set it for about 10 months before your passport expires, so you renew without panic. When you book with an agent, use a clear question: does this destination require 6 months of passport validity? If the agent hesitates, do not accept a guess. Ask them to verify the requirement against official entry guidance. Rule 7. The damaged passport rejection sounds small, but it can derail travel just as quickly. Many people think damage means ripped pages or a coffee spill, but modern screening can be sensitive to condition. Your passport can look fine to your eyes, and still cause trouble for scanners, or automated gates, or airline document checks. Frequent bending, moisture, peeling laminate, and worn edges can all raise questions at the worst moment. Even if you are not denied, extra checks can create delays that make you miss a connection, a train, or a boarding cutoff. Seniors are at higher risk here, because many store passports in pockets, purses, or tight compartments that flex the book repeatedly. The simplest protection is physical. Store your passport flat, keep it away from liquids, and avoid stuffing it under heavy items. Before an international trip, do a passport condition scan. Flip through pages, look for tears, stains, loose binding, or missing pages. Check the photo page carefully. If the laminate is lifting, if the print is smudged, or if the page is cracked, treat it as a red flag. If your passport has significant damage, replacing it before travel is cheaper than losing an entire itinerary. If you use automated kiosks, pay attention if the machine struggles repeatedly. That is a warning, not a coincidence. Use a simple tool, a hard-shell passport holder, because it prevents most accidental bends and quarter crushes. When you arrive at a counter and a scan fails, keep your tone calm and ask for options instead of arguing. A practical phrase is, "Can we do manual processing, and I will arrange a replacement if needed." That shows cooperation, and it often moves you faster than trying to prove you are right. Rule 6, the real ID enforcement problem, is the domestic flight trap that still surprises people. For years, many travelers flew within the U.S. using a standard driver's license and never thought twice. But TSA identity rules now require a real ID compliant license, or another acceptable ID, for standard checkpoint entry. The easiest visual clue is the star marking on most compliant licenses, although designs vary by state. Seniors get caught because they upgraded cars and phones over the years, but did not upgrade the one document airports demand. The result is not always an instant no, but it can mean secondary screening, long delays, and missed flights. And missing a flight is expensive because rebooking costs, seat inventory, and last-minute fees stack up fast. The fix is straightforward. Check your license today. Do not wait until the week of your trip. If you do not have a compliant ID, schedule a DMV appointment and bring the required identity and residency documents. If you already have a passport, consider using it for domestic flights too, because it is widely accepted. If you travel more than twice a year, the simplicity of one reliable ID can reduce stress dramatically. If you decide to rely on a license, confirm it is compliant, and do not assume a recent-looking card is automatically valid. On travel day, keep your ID accessible, because fumbling at the podium increases stress and slows the line. If you are pulled aside, do not panic. Respond clearly and ask what they need to verify your identity. The useful phrase is, "I have an acceptable physical ID, and I am ready to follow your instructions." If you realize you brought the wrong ID, do not waste time arguing. Ask immediately what alternative verification is available. The key lesson for 2026 travel is consistency. Rules may not feel new, but enforcement and automation feel stricter. Your best defense is a calm checklist: passport validity, passport condition, and ID compliance, checked before you pack. Do these checks early, and you turn airport day from a gamble into a routine. And if you want the next set of rules, Europe biometrics, and the pre-travel authorization changes, stay with me and follow for more travel tactics. Rule 5, the European biometric border trap, is where many seniors feel surprised, even when their passports are perfect. In the Schengen area, Europe is rolling out the entry and exit system, often called EES, and it changes how borders work. Instead of a quick stamp and a wave through, you may be routed to a kiosk or an officer for biometric registration. For many travelers, the first time you enter after rollout, you can be asked for a facial image and multiple fingerprints. The process is not meant to punish you, but it can take longer, especially during busy arrival waves. Seniors get hit by the time factor because arthritis, tremors, dry skin, or limited mobility can slow fingerprint capture. A small delay at immigration becomes a big problem when you have a train connection, a tour pickup, or a short layover. The smartest adjustment is to pad your schedule. Treat Europe arrivals like a slow lane day, not a sprint day. If you connect through Europe, build extra time between flights, because immigration lines can surge without warning. If you have a medical condition affecting your hands, do not wait until you fail the scanner. Tell the officer immediately. Most airports have an assisted process, but you only benefit if you speak up early and stay calm. Your 30-second check for Europe is simple. Plan to arrive earlier than you used to, and plan connections with wider buffers. If you travel with a spouse or family, stay together, because splitting lanes can create confusion during first-time registration. A good phrase is, "I have a medical condition affecting my hands. Is there an alternative way to complete biometrics?" Once you are enrolled, future entries can feel smoother, but your first pass is the one that surprises people. Rule 4 is the pre-travel authorization change, the one that feels invisible until an airline asks for it. Many seniors assume a passport is the only requirement, but Europe is adding an online travel authorization called ETIAS. The key point is timing. ETIAS is expected to start in late 2026, and it must be approved before you depart. It is similar in concept to other pre-screening systems. You apply online, answer questions, and receive an approval tied to your passport. Some approvals may come quickly, but some can take longer, so doing it at the airport is the worst possible plan. The fee is expected to be higher than older rumors, and some age groups may be exempt from paying, but not exempt from applying. That detail matters for seniors, because "I do not have to pay" can sound like "I do not have to do it," and that is a costly misunderstanding. Your best practice is to apply at least a week before travel, and earlier if your trip is complicated or multi-country. Treat ETIAS like a boarding pass prerequisite. You do not argue it at the counter. You show it before the airline locks the door. Also remember that ETIAS is linked to your passport number, so a new passport often means you must reapply. Make it a habit whenever you renew a passport. Check your saved travel authorizations and update anything linked to the old number. Save proof the right way. Keep a screenshot on your phone, and keep the confirmation email accessible offline. Your 30-second ETIAS check is, "Do I need an authorization for this region, and is it linked to my current passport number?" If an airline asks and you cannot find it, do not panic. Ask for the official site name and avoid random look-alike pages. A useful phrase is, "I can show my approved authorization, and it is linked to this passport. Please give me one moment." Rule 3, the digital ID disaster, is not about whether digital IDs exist. It is about where they work and how they fail. Can accept digital ID through wallets and participating state systems, but it is not guaranteed at every checkpoint in every airport. Even when a terminal supports it, a specific lane or device may be offline, and that is when people get stuck. Seniors fall into the trap because setting it up feels official and it feels like progress, so they stop carrying the physical card. The real rule is simple. A digital ID is a convenience, but you still need an acceptable physical ID with you. Phones die, brightness settings, block scans, wallets glitch, and a cracked screen can turn a normal morning into a stressful argument. The right strategy is redundancy. Bring the physical ID, keep the phone charged, and treat digital as a fast option, not your only option. If you want digital ID, set it up at home, test it when you are not under pressure, and learn where your home airport supports it. On travel day, keep your phone battery high and do not wait until you reach the podium to open the wallet. If the scanner fails, do not debate the policy. Switch immediately to your physical ID and keep the line moving. The best magic phrase is short and calm. "I have my physical ID as backup," and then hand it over right away. If you forgot your physical ID, do not improvise with photos and screenshots. Ask what official alternative verification is available. The photo of your ID can help you remember details, but it is not the same as an acceptable document at the checkpoint. If you travel frequently, keep a small checklist in your wallet, phone, keys, medication, physical ID, and passport if needed. Seniors benefit from routine, because routine beats memory when you are packing early, tired, or distracted. Combine these 3 rules into one habit. Europe needs time buffers, ETIAS needs early application, and digital ID needs a physical backup. This is how you stop surprises. You shift from reacting at the airport to confirming at home. The strong travel day starts 48 hours before. Confirm your passport, confirm your authorization needs, and confirm your ID plan. If you do those checks, you reduce the chance of secondary screening, missed connections, and expensive rebooking. And if you want to protect your trip even more, the next 2 rules are the ones seniors argue about most at the checkpoint. They involve what you carry in your bag, what you must declare, and what countries demand inside your passport book. Most people lose money here, not because they are careless, but because nobody taught them the exact wording and sequence. In the next section, I will show you how to pass those checks cleanly, with clear phrases that prevent confusion. Stay with me, because these last rules are where a simple mistake can cost a vacation day, or an entire non-refundable ticket. Follow for more travel tactics, because the safest trip is the one you planned for the rules, not the one you hoped would be flexible. Rule 2, the medication declaration trap, is where many seniors lose time, lose supplies, and start a trip stressed. The problem is not that medical items are banned. The problem is that the process changes when liquids exceed the standard limit. TSA allows medically necessary liquids, gels, and aerosols in reasonable quantities, even when they are over 3.4 ounces. But the protection only works if you do your part. You must separate them and declare them at the checkpoint. Seniors miss this because nobody announces it clearly in the line, and because many assume a prescription label is enough. In practice, if a liquid looks like a drink, a supplement, or an unlabeled container, it triggers questions and delays. The easiest way to avoid drama is to stage your bag for success before you reach the belts. Put all medically necessary liquids over the limit in one clear pouch or one corner of your carry-on. When you step up, speak first, and keep it simple. I have medically necessary liquids to declare. That sentence sets the process, and it prevents the agent from treating it like an ordinary oversized toiletry. If they need to test it, cooperate, because testing is faster than arguing, and it usually takes under a minute. Documentation helps, but it does not need to be perfect. A prescription label, a pharmacy printout, or a doctor's note can reduce friction. For over-the-counter liquids that are medically necessary for you, the same approach works. Declare them and let the officer decide the screening. Your 30-second check at home is anything liquid over 3.4 ounces and medically necessary goes in the declare pouch. Also check your mobility aids, batteries, and medical devices, because some items require special handling and a brief explanation. If you travel with multiple medications, keep them organized, because scrambling in a bin invites mistakes and delays. The smart backup is to pack a small extra supply in a separate bag, so one lost pouch does not ruin your schedule. Rule 1. The blank page requirement is the silent passport killer, because it feels invisible until the agent flips the book. Many countries require blank visa pages for entry stamps, visas, or other processing, and some require them to be consecutive. Seniors get hit because they travel more, use more stamps, and keep the same passport for many years. You can have a passport that is valid for years and still be denied boarding because the book does not have enough usable pages. The fix is not to argue at the counter, because airlines will not override a destination's document rules. The fix is to check your book early and renew before the passport becomes functionally full. Do a simple page audit. Open your passport and count how many completely blank pages remain. Then check whether your destination requires 2 blank pages, 2 consecutive blank pages, or more, for visas and entry stamps. If you are down to a few pages, do not gamble. Renew early and choose a larger passport book if your country offers it. If you travel with children, remember that some child passports have shorter validity periods, so they fill up and expire faster. Your 30-second check is, how many blank pages do I have, and does my destination require them to be consecutive? If you are under 4 blank pages total, treat it as a warning, especially for multi-country itineraries. Now put all 8 rules into one travel routine, because routines protect seniors better than last-minute memory. First, verify your passport validity buffer. Aim for at least 6 months beyond travel, and more if you want peace of mind. Second, verify your passport condition. No major tears, no water damage, no peeling photo page, no missing pages. Third, verify your domestic ID plan, real ID compliant license, or an acceptable alternative, and do not rely on digital only. Fourth, verify region requirements, Europe biometrics timing, and if late 2026 travel applies, complete ETIAS early. Fifth, pack for screening, medically necessary liquids staged for declaration, devices organized, and essentials easy to reach. Sixth, Keep evidence ready, screenshots of approvals, printed confirmations if you like, and a calm plan for connections. The biggest mistake seniors make is assuming the airport will figure it out with them, because airports are built for speed, not coaching. The second biggest mistake is assuming a rule is fair, and fairness will change the outcome, but enforcement is not a debate club. Your advantage is preparation, because preparation is the one thing that beats strict systems. If you are traveling soon, do these checks today, not the night before, because fixes require appointments and processing time. If you travel later in the year, set reminders, passport renewal windows, authorization deadlines, and DMV visits should never be surprises. If you travel as a couple, do the checks together, because one missing document can disrupt both tickets. If you travel with friends, pick one person to run the checklist for the group, because groups move at the speed of the least prepared. And if you are a caregiver helping a parent, treat documents like medication. You confirm them early, you pack them twice, you verify them again. When you arrive at the airport, stay calm, have your documents ready, and do not let a line of strangers rush you into a mistake. If something goes wrong, shift to solution mode. Ask for manual processing, alternative verification, or the next available step. Use simple phrases. Do not over-explain, because short, clear sentences get faster help than long stories. The goal is not to win an argument. The goal is to get to your seat with your trip intact. You worked hard for your vacation, so protect it like it matters, because a $20 checklist can save a $2,000 itinerary. Follow for more travel tactics, because next we can cover carry-on sizing, airline sizers, and how to avoid surprise gate check fees. We can also cover step-by-step packing for seniors, mobility tips, and the best way to schedule connections without stress. The airport is not getting simpler, but your plan can if you turn these rules into habits. Save this checklist, share it with someone over 60, and make sure your next trip starts with confidence, not chaos. And when you are ready, I will give you a printable pre-flight checklist and the exact phrases to use at check-in and security. Follow for more documentary travel guidance, because the best stories happen after the gate, not at the counter. Let's wrap this up with one simple idea. Most travel disasters for seniors are not bad luck. They are preventable document surprises. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Check validity, check condition, check compliance, and declare what must be declared. Give your passport a safety buffer, and do not assume an unexpired date means you are safe for international entry rules. Treat your passport like a fragile tool. Store it flat, keep it dry, and replace it early if it is clearly damaged or questionable. For domestic travel, make sure your ID plan is solid. A compliant physical ID beats a last-minute argument every time. If you use a digital ID, enjoy the convenience, but never let it replace the physical document in your pocket. If Europe is on your list, plan extra time for biometrics, and if your trip is in late 2026, watch for ETIAS requirements and apply early. Pack your medical liquids smartly, stage them, declare them, and let the screening process work for you, instead of against you. Before you book a big international trip, flip through your passport and confirm you have enough truly blank pages for stamps and visas. These are small checks, but they protect big money, because rebooking fees and non-refundable tickets punish small mistakes. Make it a habit to do your checks 1 month out, 1 week out, and again 48 hours before departure. Share this with a parent, a friend, or anyone over 60, because one calm checklist can save an entire dream vacation. Follow for more travel tactics and documentary-style guides, because next we can cover carry-on sizing traps and how to avoid surprise gate check charges. Your trip should begin with excitement, not a red beep at a scanner, so take control before you leave home. And if you want, I can also turn this into a printable pre-flight checklist you can keep in your phone, so you never miss a step again.